I was born in Spring Garden Alley, and I lived a lot of my formative years in Spring Garden Alley, which were marvellous for me, Matt. I lived with my grandmother because in the days that I was a child, grandparents, they kind of farmed out the eldest from the family of one of their children, as in me, to go down and live with the grandparents because they were always very lonely, number one, and terrified that an objectionable person might come to the door after it got dark, you know. So I didn't. I it was very funny. My father had these boots since the LDF days, and I used to have to, when I'd be upstairs, if there was a knock on the door, say after it got dark, my poor grandmother would say to me, "Go up now and put on the boots," said, and I go up and I put on the boots, and I march up and down the thing, boom, boom, and she said, whoever's at the door, "The man is upstairs, wait till I get the man." Well, Mickey Byrne was Val Dunigan's manager. Mickey saw I had a little bit something different, you see, and he suggested I write to Spike Mullins. Spike Mullins was the main scriptwriter for the two Ronnies, and I sent him off a sketch, and they put it on. I thought it was a good sketch, but when they finished with it, it was a fabulous sketch. Their interpretation of they actually interpreted it the way I do it if I was on myself, like, you know. And Spike Mullins, I wrote Spike Mullins is the man who wrote Four Candles.
Oh, right.
Four Candles,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, Four Candles.
He wrote that famous sketch, and you have a lovely letter from him. Eddie, keep at it. You know, you're able to see things. He said that us fellas can see that other people mightn't see. He said. So I started watching things and watching people, and geez, magic! You see the funny things that people do don't even know they're funny. You know?
I'm joined this morning by a free man of Waterford, a man who had a tremendous day down here a month or two ago, John Tracy. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Eddie. How are you?
One of the great cultural events of our country is happening down in County Kerry, a gorgeous county and a gorgeous part of County Kerry, I might add, Listowel. It's Listowel's Writer Week, and I'm joined by one of the greatest writers of modern Ireland, a man who encapsulates everything about our country in the plays and that he writes down there, John B. Keane. John, how are you?
How are you, John?
And how was your health, John?
Reasonably good.
And I
can still drink beer. That's the important thing for me anyway.
Well, as we've been saying all day, and as I said last night, my very special guest on this evening's programme is one of the greatest players that ever togged out for England and for his own town of Bolton. It's Nat Lofthouse, a legendary centre forward. Nat, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
Well, whenever anybody speaks about folk music in Ireland, one name always jumps out at them, the Clancy brothers from Carrick-on-Shore. And to those who thought that they had vanished into oblivion, far be it from that, because they're touring at the moment and very successfully, I might add. And I'm joined by one of the all-time greats of that group, Paddy Clancy. How are you, Paddy?
I'm very well, Ed, thanks. How are you?
Well, you sound absolutely spifflicated.
Well, I haven't had a drink all day, David.
Well, my special guest this week is a man, what about to say, only a star of stage, screen and radio. That's what you actually are, you know.
Come on. First, I've never been introduced as that.
Well, I tell you one thing, other people might introduce you as something else, but with your Waterford connections, I have to introduce you as that, and I'm talking to Ryan Tubridy. Ryan, good morning.
Very good morning to you, Eddie. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, and yourself?
I'm just absolutely fine now. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on the programme with you.
One of the giants of Irish industry is coming down in our midst, Super Quinn. And joining me is the man himself, Fergal Quinn. How are you?
Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Ambassador, welcome to Waterford. You're not too far from your roots.
No, I'm not. My roots are in Wexford, I would suppose. Wexford, New Ross. And I was there when I first came over. You know, I was appointed in 1993, and I went to Wexford on my first day here and had a reception. So I have very fond memories. I came with my brother in '63. And so it was nice to go back, and the people there are very, very warm. And here, of course, my sister, Liz Moore, is not very far from here. My sister Kathleen used to visit there. So all of Ireland is very friendly and hospitable to me, and I feel very at home here.
Believe it or not, who had a private audience with the Pope, it's John A. Murphy. John, how are you, my friend?
Very well, Eddie, thank you.
Well, my special guest this morning is a man who needs no introduction to the public, the ordinary people of Ireland, and that's former Taoiseach Albert Reynolds, who's in town, and I took the opportunity of having a few words with him. First of all, Albert, welcome to Waterford again.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be back in Waterford.
If I meet God at the pearly gates, I say, how in the name of Jesus did you let me over here at all? I thought I'd never get through the other ones to get in here, you know. All I can say is it was an honour and a pleasure to be with you.